So if you watched my videos, I've talked about how I haven't had a job since July of 2011. And it is February of 2012. Not that I haven't tried, it's just I live in San Diego and there's not many places I can get to without a car, so I have to apply everywhere that I can get to on a bus quickly, in case people, because I know especially they're going to be hiring people to take the crappy hours because they're not going to want somebody who's super picky because they can find somebody else who will take those crappy hours. Um, but anyway, so I've like most of my funds have been coming from Etsy and whatnot. Sometimes my family helps me and everything, but I have to try and do it on myself. I do live at home, but um, we don't exactly have the funds to do everything. And I was helping before with my paycheck, so. But anyway, so at first I was kind of like eating crappy food all the time because it was cheap. I was like, oh cool, the side seasoning of rice is $1 and I can get 2 meals out of that. And like eating yucky foods. And I wasn't thinking about making beans and homemade soups and stuff. So just eating like microwave stuff that I could get through really quickly. And then I started feeling gross, more and more gross, like as the time's gone on. And I'm getting a little bit of weight, so I was like, no, this can't happen. And I've been worried about not getting enough meat because I do have an inherited anemia condition and everything, and other things. And I'm not really. I was craving meat a lot too because I'm not a vegetarian or anything. But so recently I started making more, like looking at more recipes and stuff for homemade meals because I didn't realize how cheap beans were because I was buying like canned beans and stuff because I was like, okay, this is quick. I can make this right away. I don't want to wait. You know what I mean? But I'm home all day most of the time. So I was like, I have plenty of time to go soak some beans overnight, some spices and whatnot, and then the next day throw them in the crock pot and cook them. So I've already made the pinto beans, which are really good. And my mom hates beans. So we've never had beans as kids unless we went out to eat somewhere. And so it was interesting. I'm like 23 and eating beans at home for the first time. Um, but I didn't realize there's different things too. I was getting like excited over like stupid stuff. Like the second day, the juice, like the liquid that I had cooked them in, the spiced water and everything, had turned to this gravy. It was like perfect over rice and everything. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like, I'm learning about beans. I'm all excited over food or whatever. Which you would think because I'm fat and I get excited over food, but I don't really. I don't know. Like, yeah, we're going to McDonald's. I'm not like that kind of girl. I actually get embarrassed eating in front of other people and eating, in general. Because I don't know, it feels weird to me. When you're larger, you feel like everybody's looking at you. And it's not always that you like eat, consume food all the time. It's because you're eating crappy food, not being able to exercise. And your genes, I had one doctor tell me when I went in, and I was like, I cannot lose weight no matter what diet I do, no matter how much exercise, nothing's happening. It's like, oh, it's a combination of your genes. You're basically just screwed. You're never going to be skinny. You can lose weight. You just have to try even harder. And I was like, I'm starving and my body aches for exercising. How much harder do I gotta work, I did manage to lose 70 pounds after I had my gallbladder removed, but that's because everything made me sick and I couldn't eat anything. So I lost 70 pounds in like less than a year, I think. But yeah. So looking at different recipes too, and then making really hearty soups. And these things that I'm making are super cheap. Like buying all the supplies to make one meal isn't like super cheap, but it makes like multiple meals because usually I'm cooking for myself. And these meals are so hearty that you don't eat that much of them because they're so filling. Like making vegetable soup, I had to buy the potatoes, which is like $3 a bag. And then I'll buy like some corn and some green beans and carrots and stuff. So those things add up. But then I can use those things, like the potatoes obviously are not going to be all used in one soup. Unless I'm making like a potato soup or something. But that's going to make a massive amount of soup. But just chop a bunch of vegetables and put it in chicken broth or some sort of stock. I'm good to go. And I've been using tofu because it's actually fairly cheap. You get like a big huge chunk of it for like $1 or something. Cheaper than meat, actually. Well, I guess if you buy the frozen meat, but I can't afford to pay that much at one time to get like a huge bag of stuff. And so I'm making I love soup, so I'm making a lot of vegetables, or mostly vegetable soups. Sometimes I'll throw sausage or something in there if I can get it, or if somebody gives it to me. My dad gave us some steaks the other day, which was nice, because I'm like, yay, meat! And then so I made those beans, and I'm eating them with rice, and right now I have red beans soaking. Interrupted, so I don't know where I left off. But anyway, cooking for yourself at home can be really cheap. The bags of rice are like $1 something for like the bags this big, and like the same for the beans too. I think they're like $1.19. Might save a lot, depending on which ones you get. So it's usually like in one huge bag. It fed me for like 3 days, and I ate it for like every single meal. I had like rice and beans for like 3 days, and they get better as they age in the fridge too. I know some people are like won't eat anything after a day or won't eat leftovers. You gotta eat these leftovers. They're really good. But so I am looking for a job. I'm hoping to try and get I could try. I haven't really tried to get food stamps or anything because I haven't been able to get there. But I'm sure if that could even create more healthy meals, and I might be able to share recipes or something on here if I start doing that. Right now, I just have my red beans, soaking in some of the chicken stock, and then a bunch of different seasonings. Like I put an Italian seasoning and stuff in there too, just because I'm not really one of those people that has really developed taste buds where I can taste like the little seasonings that go perfect with things usually. So I just kind of throw everything in there. I'm like, Creole, chicken spice, this. But they turn out really good. So, and I know like a lot of people cook ham hocks in there. When they put it in the crock pot, they'll put ham hocks in there. You can get like 3 of them for like $5 or something. That'd save a lot. I don't know where else you could shop. I don't know if they sell them at Walmart or anything. If you have a grocery store in your Walmart. And I don't shop at big grocery stores because they're always jacked up in price. Yeah, so there's my semi-pointless video on trying to make healthier meals for myself on a budget. Basically, it's lots of legumes, lots of beans, and vegetable soups for now, which I am not complaining about. It's pretty good, fills you up, cheap, makes me happy. Cheap makes me happy.